E agora tu foco que amorena tira, tira, tira. Hey.
Welcome to the Project Exodus Court podcast, episode 56. My name is Joel. This is Paul. And tonight's special guest is, of course, an OG Project Exodus lady, Miss Nicole Hastings.
Hello, hello.
The fourth.
The fourth.
Hey, how are you?
I am great. How are you guys?
Doing good, doing good. Episode 56. It's been a...
Hi, even if
Oh,
you
yeah.
forgot about me.
I always forget to introduce Steph. My bad. And Steph, our executive producer, Steph, and Mia.
Mia.
Where is she?
Sniffing around.
She's sniffing around. She'll be back. So yeah, episode 56. It's been like a month since we were on. Last guest was Mary, who was a really good episode. We were going to meet a couple weeks ago, and I was not feeling it. Not feeling good at all.
Don't share your sickness.
Love bug seasons are coming, or is here.
Yeah.
Full-fledged. Yeah. How are you guys liking that?
My car's fine. I don't know why, but they're not attracted to the green.
Yeah. Joel's car's black, so you
You
can't
can't
tell
see
anyway.
it.
Mine's gray.
Wait, they're not
They
attracted
hate
to
it.
the green?
I swear. Or I don't drive enough. But I drive in town a lot. I don't drive a lot on the highway.
How is it running through the love bugs?
It's fine.
Oh, I told so Charlotte's like doesn't like them. And
Yeah.
I just always tell her, it's like, you're bigger than they are. And now she started like Godzilla stomping them like everywhere she goes.
I mean, I'm fortunate enough that like they don't end up like in my mouth or anything. You're talking about when I'm running, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I do a lot of indoor running too because I have a lot of like intervals. So my only outdoor run is really on Sundays because it's like long and I cannot run miles on a treadmill.
Yeah. For history purposes, episode 1, Nicole was there when we were at Brock's studio, and I think that was the first time I met you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then I don't know, like you were on an episode for sure,
Yep.
and just have always kind of been part of what we're doing. What have you been up to lately? Like, what's been going on in Nicole's world?
Cole's world. Wow. I really took a step back and started focusing on like my own recovery and really like getting into the things that like I really like to do, like finding myself and finding what I love. I switched up my training. I got into like endurance sports. So like I'm not just like strength training anymore. I'm running now like miles every week. So like for the most part, like what's different about now is just that I'm focusing on like my recovery and like building the best base that I possibly can while learning what I love to do in life.
Yeah.
So
And you, I mean, you've always been big about,
mhm.
as far as I've known, you've been extremely into self-care,
Yes,
taking good care of yourself.
100%.
And what do you think like the biggest changes now that you're like, what are you tackling the most, like your biggest focus?
Oh, wow. I would really say that my biggest focus, not with just fitness, it's actually like with my spiritual level, because for the longest time, like I could not figure out how to stay connected, I guess, is a way to say it. And like now I've like kind of come into like this space where I'm asking my higher power for a lot more help, and I'm actually like getting guidance. And I think a lot of that has to do with me being on the path of like taking care of myself, of making sure that I'm hitting meetings, making sure that I'm doing the things that I need to do for my recovery. And like that's the biggest change for me over the past, like, I don't know, I want to say like 3 or 4 months. Like it really started to like hit me that like, yo, the spiritual stuff really works if you like just keep at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can completely relate. Like, it kind of comes in waves where there's just moments where I understand the importance of really being honed in on the spiritual aspect of recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it for me, it like slowly tapers away and I get away from it. And then, I realize that it's there.
Yep.
And that's very important for those that are in early recoveries. Like the spiritual aspect of this is extremely important.
And and like you said, like it comes in waves. Like it will come when it's meant to come. Like I struggle. I wouldn't say that like the first couple years, because I just passed 5, right? And they say like you get all your marbles back when you hit 5 years, and I'm just like, I don't even think I ever had marbles. Like I really don't think I had it all together.
Yeah.
But I really found that at this stage, like just continuing to put in work, like progress is really the name of the game, and it's just like the gym. Right? Trust the process. It's the same thing with recovery. You just have to keep putting in the work.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, I guess we kind of watch you from a distance a little more now than we used to.
Yeah.
Big on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
And you can plug your social media. What is it? Nicole Rose.
Nicole Rose Hastings is my name, but my Instagram handle is at the Nicole System.
There we go. Yeah, and that's your content's really is really unique in itself. There's a lot of motivational quotes, a lot of hating on men, and no, I'm no, like I for those that don't know, like Nicole is I went and did legs with her a couple weeks ago. And it's great, but if you want to hate yourself for a week straight, go do legs with Nicole. You're very I mean you're a trainer,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yep.
as a hobby.
Yes, as a passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not what you do full time though.
It's not what I do full time. Full time, I'm a regional office like manager. I like do all the back end systems for like agents and like their lead management systems. And I've been there for 9 years, and we're actually going full remote in a couple of months. So that's great in the aspect of like I have a little bit more like freedom to like go different places to work. But what it's allowed me to do, what this career has allowed me to do, because it's also helping people. Like everything is about helping people. But what this career has allowed me to do is also have the creativity and have the space to work with clients in the coaching world, because I have that obviously that pays like most of my bills, right? And then my passion with helping people with fitness, like I don't really charge people like for a lot of things. Like if you want to come work out or you want to learn something, like I will give you everything I know. Like just like my experience, strength and hope with recovery, like anything you want to know about fitness, anything you want to know about nutrition, like I'm an open book. Like I'll tell you, you can take it or leave it, but I'll tell you what's worked for me, you know? And I just love that so much.
Yeah, no, I call Nicole all the time for just advice on diets and like mainly I just want to vent when I'm stressed out about something. But this is great. Me and Joel were talking about our physique yesterday at the meeting. Like, what advice would you give Joel? Because he
Well,
needs it.
what's Joel's goal?
I don't know, but I told him last night I think he needs to eat more.
If your goal is muscle growth, you have to eat in a surplus, no matter what. If
Yeah.
your goal is to lean down and lose body fat, you want to eat more in a deficit.
What's your goal, Joel?
Lean down, get jacked.
Can't
It's
get
actually-
jacked and lean down. It's two different things.
I mean, it's been going on for a while. I mean, I was at 235 pounds, probably 40 pounds body fat, overweight. So, I mean, that's kind of where I started. But losing all that body fat and then trying to gain muscle was hard.
Yeah.
But I definitely did it. And, you know what I mean? If I look at pictures of what I looked like a couple years ago to now. So,
Yeah.
I've been like, that is the most difficult thing about this diet I've been on. Like, I've been tracking on my Fitness Pal. Like, I'm trying to meet any day that I don't eat my calories,
Mhm.
the next day is miserable.
Yeah.
Like I have no energy. Like yesterday, I didn't hit my calorie goals,
Yep.
and today I've been
But you go
exhausted.
way under. Like if I go under, I try to go like a few hundred under.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do that for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I
Going
did. I was like,
1,500 every time
yesterday
for
I
a
was
little bit.
1,200 calories under my
Oh
like.
my gosh. No.
And
Yep.
you're
But,
losing
That's a
muscle strength, a lot of water. Right?
well, the
yep.
wild thing was like I had I didn't eat breakfast. Like this is it, they say breakfast is the most important meal.
Mhm.
Like yesterday morning, I had Charlotte, took her to daycare, and didn't eat my protein oatmeal platter. And then I went to work, and then after work, I went to the meeting last night. So by the time I got home, Charlotte's going to bed, and I just went to bed.
Did you just tell me you didn't eat all day?
I ate lunch, but it was like 600,
I would
700
be.
calorie potatoes and chicken. And
Oh yeah.
what happened?
Not too fast. What's up?
Okay, give me a second. Okay, now we are working.
Okay, yeah.
The
But-
cameras were off.
But I think that it's really important too, like when you're talking about like taking care of yourself, like
Yeah.
in recovery, what I've noticed is like that's become my I don't want to say addiction.
Mm,
However, but like if I'm going to invest into something to occupy my time,
yep.
when you mention like working remote, is that ever something that you're concerned about? Like now going into a space where it's like you're not going in and clocking in daily.
So this initially I was like, how am I going to stay motivated when I'm not in an office space? But I did upgrade my apartment to a 2-bedroom. So I have a whole office set up.
That's the trick.
I set up an office. It has to be a designated spot. You have to have a designated area that's focused for work. I've tried just like in my old apartment when I would just work from home like occasionally, and I would sit on my couch and I could knock out like 3 hours of work, and then I would be like, dishes need to be done, laundry needs to be done, dog needs to be walked. The dog, Dallas is gonna want to go outside every 5 minutes if I'm home, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
to like hang out or whatever. So at first I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But we've also designated a couple days a week when we will all meet together, like the few of us girls will get together a couple days a week. And then also I'll go to a coffee shop if I'm not motivated. Like going and being around people and like feeling like the buzz of energy helps. So no, I'm not necessarily worried. I think that I can make anything happen. I can adjust pretty well to most situations. So,
Got windows in the office now, or
in which office?
in the home office?
The home office. It's my desk is right in front of a window,
Yeah.
so I get to look out.
I heard that question completely wrong. I thought you meant the software. Do you have windows? I was like, wait,
You got windows?
yeah.
No, I mean like when I work from home, I gotta open up all the blinds.
Yeah.
And make it like because it just you're home and it's like you just want to naturally do
Chores.
not do work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. 100%.
like-
Yeah. Exactly. And
play
they
music in the background or a
Mhm.
podcast or something in the background.
The
Yeah, you have
TV.
to.
Yeah.
What?
The TV.
Oh, TV, yeah. You have to. I think that if it was just like dead quiet, it would be a problem for sure. But no, I'm not too worried about that. Mhm.
Well, good.
What I was thinking about this the other day, like I think I saw a quote, something that it was like, when you go to the gym, you embrace the fact that failure is how it will get you to grow
Mhm.
muscle and get you in better shape.
Yep.
But like all other aspects in life, we look at failure as like this fear. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When I go to the gym, I go there to fail.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the best workout I can get there. If every day in like other areas of my life, like failures, I shy away from it at work and relationships and conversations. And you know what I mean? Like it's a weird,
Yeah.
it's like I'm struggling to take the same mentality of the failure in the gym, you know what I mean? But like I notice in recovery, like every uncomfortable position I constantly put myself in, like I end up growing. Like
Yeah.
I end up looking back and be like, I'm glad I failed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, it's the same thing. And I think actually that's funny that you're mentioning this because I was just literally thinking about this because somebody asked me, because obviously I've been running a lot lately to get better with high rocks and stuff like that. And they're like, it's so hard. Like, why do you do it? And I'm just like, it's the mental challenge. Because, you go to the gym, right? And you're working out and you're trying to grow and get better. And now that I'm doing the endurance part, like obviously I'm not growing muscle while I'm running miles. Like that's not happening. So it's not the same. It doesn't like translate the same. But the mental challenge of beating yourself, of being able to beat the version of you yesterday that couldn't run like 1 minute faster or one, like those few seconds, like just not giving up on yourself and not failing in that moment, right? Like that, like literally is what keeps me coming back to do it, because it's like, I know that on the other side of this, even if I don't get as fast as I want today, on the other side of this, it's going to happen from continuing to show up.
Yeah.
But I was literally thinking about like the mental games that we play with the failure, like how, like in relationships and life, like you were saying, like it's like, you know, this didn't work out. I'm a failure. I suck because this didn't like work out perfectly. Like that perfection, that level that we're trying to get to. It's like, that's not the name of the game. The name of the game is just being better than you were yesterday.
Yeah. What other gratifying things do you get outside of obviously being better than you were yesterday and an addictive runner's high? Like what other I mean, I would imagine self-confidence.
Yeah. Actually, I'm finding a lot more self-respect these days.
Like RESPECT.
RESPCT. Yeah. And I mean that in a way, like you were talking about my content earlier about man hating.
That's very, it is very aggressive when I read it.
So some of
I'm
that
inspired.
some of that actually stems from personal experience, but some of that also stems from other people, other women, because my ideal clientele is a woman who wants to gain self-respect, gain confidence, get in shape. What is she dealing with? She's dealing with those same situations. So for me, it's like I'm coming into the woman that I've always wanted to be. And that woman doesn't take bare minimum, doesn't take settling, doesn't take any of that stuff. But that means I have to be that person to myself first.
Right.
And I get that from the gym. I get that from staying sober. I get that from building a relationship with my higher power. Like I get stronger. And once I'm stronger, then in turn, what do I get? That version that gets those things that I want.
Yeah, I enjoy your content. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your Instagram life. I will say that
That's good.
I wish there was a version of your content that was like you ever see like those influencers that will like give you a list of workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Like on leg day you're gonna do this at this many reps, this many times, da 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 da. I'm like, where's that?
Oh,
I need that.
Where's the shout out to the men that you care about? Say,
that it is.
like,
It's
shout out.
you guys need to step it up. But to be clear, like there is a large group of girls in our community that go to the gym, and whenever I do talk to any of them about you, it's like, oh gosh, I love her, like, and I think that's extremely important, especially in the recovery community.
Yeah.
I know as a guy, I envy a lot of the girl groups that you see because they're so vocal and they're so public about their recovery and supportive of one another.
Mm-hmm.
It is a beautiful thing to see. Because
I was like, "Where's all my guy friends, man?" Like,
well, like
where's the guy groups that go to the gym?
they exist, but they're the opposite when it comes to secrecy. Like they're very selective. They don't want anything public about what they're doing recovery wise. And so to like see, girls posting about celebrating getting milestones or things like that, it's encouraging because at least what's going on. Now, I would hate to be the topic of discussion in any of those groups because I don't imagine they can be brutal, but it's nice to know that there's a place for women to go and get recovery, healthy, spiritually healthy, mental healthy. So you're doing it. I mean, you're killing it.
And the gym is a big part of my life, but it's and it is like a healthy addiction, right? Because you get addicted to like the outcomes, you get addicted to like how good you feel in your body, you get addicted to becoming a better version of yourself, right? And it's gratifying in a lot of ways, but number one is obviously my recovery, right? So I recently just got back into doing service. Like I went to the detox center a couple of times last month. Like I'm tiptoeing my way back into that stuff because for a while there, I got so deep into doing all of that I wasn't going for myself.
Right.
And number one, my recovery is it's d- it's important that I have female relationships with other people that are in recovery, and I have a bunch of I have like 10 different group chats, right? With different women in recovery from
What's
different
that?
what?
There was some post about like getting out of the group chat.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
Look at this freaking stalker.
Well, I mean, I'm friends with everybody, like I seen it. I was like, oh, cool. They're getting out of a group chat. I didn't know what that meant.
So I have a group chat with Stacy, Beth, Angela, and me,
Mm.
and every once in a while we go out to dinner. And the last time we went out to dinner was Christmas, so we finally made it out the group chat, like because we have a group chat.
Oh, I get it. Like
Yeah.
you lived in the group chat and you
Yeah.
finally went and did something.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah. And there were some celebrations at that dinner too. Some milestones. But yeah, the relationships that I've built with women was not something that I had before recovery.
Why?
I honestly, well, I have very good best friends, but I honestly feel that I wore a mask for so long, right? That I didn't know where I fit in. And I think that now, today, my content, who I am, how I speak up for myself, all of that was me coming into the person that I'm supposed to be. So now it's like I can be the real version of
You can be
me.
Nicole
I can be
and be
Nicole
okay with
and
it.
be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't like me, I'm just not for them.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody thinks I'm intimidating, okay, I'm sorry, but that's none of my business.
That is so mature. That is probably the quote of the century. If someone doesn't like me, I'm just not for them.
I'm just not.
Because the comment that most people would make, if someone doesn't like me, F them.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Like, but instead it's like, hey, I'm just not for you.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
Like, and it's fine. There's how many billion people in the world?
I don't know, a few.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right?
8,
Like,
9.
I mean, I'm not supposed to be friends with every single person. But when I was going through my active addiction, I would try to be friends with every single person.
Yeah, and I
How
think
can I fit in
Second,
here?
sorry,
It's okay.
the cameras are not working.
none of them.
What's on your
Say el gato
No,
no
no,
signal. So
see?
Is the mics working?
the mics are working.
So people can still hear us. So I'll see if I can fix the cameras real quick for anybody watching, but we still have the audio for podcast.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. Where were we?
if someone doesn't like you.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, I feel like, there's so many people in the world, and for the longest time I would just spend time trying to fit into this group, trying to fit in with this person, whatever. And that's what active addiction was for me. It was like, oh, I'm going to be best friends with this person. That I don't have to do that today. I get to be me. I get to show up for me, and then, pour into other people with my recovery and what I've learned.
Look at my arm.
Do you separate recovery? Like I know Paul, like when he says recovery, it will be about meetings, sponsorship, service work. For me, when I talk about recovery, it's like the lines blurred into like my relationships, and I mean, like I'm doing recovery. Like a lot of my issues I have were socially imbalanced. That's why
Yeah.
I loved alcohol, because it made me more social.
Yeah.
But so I'm taking recovery out of the meetings, trying to be social out in the workplace and out in other social environments outside. But like that's part of my challenging me to be more social. It's
Yeah.
kind of a fear-based challenge I have. You know what I mean? But like that's recovery to me.
Yeah.
So like when I say recovery, it's like
Well, I think
it's not just sitting in a meeting or working with a sponsor. It's
yeah, no.
actively out challenging a lot
Whole
of
life.
fears and
Whole life. Like, yeah.
it's the gym, it's the
Yeah.
processing all my emotions, sitting back thinking, it's
Mm-hmm.
challenging, having the tough conversations, doing all that.
Yeah, all of that's part of recovery. I agree with that. It's whole life, I would say like the program, or in the program, would be the other way to look at it, right? Like it's like those things are not requirements, but in my opinion, they're requirements, because without them, I don't feel like I would have the recovery I have today. But it 100% carries into every aspect of my life. Like you have a tough situation come up, and you have to handle a conversation with somebody, right? Like they rub you the wrong way or whatever. You have two options. You can get defensive and you can react, how maybe the old version of you would, or you could respond the way the recovered version of you would, you know, somebody who's been working on becoming a better person, somebody who's been working on patience, tolerance, acceptance, all of those things. No, it's fine.
But I guess you didn't really tell me like new people kind of like what got you into recovery or where you came from.
Yeah,
I think you
so
kind of skipped like
we skipped a little bit of my, for people who don't know, who've never heard my story, I started drinking at the age of 17. I went to a party, had a couple drinks, felt fine, and then was blackout drunk, and was my story every single time that I drank. And then, going into like 21, like, it was parties and I was a bartender, and I always used to think that one day I would grow out of that phase, right? Like, "Oh, I'm going to hit a certain age and I don't got to worry about this anymore. Like, I can stop drinking."
did you think like when you were drinking and blacking out, were you processing like why you drank? Like were you having any type of conversations with yourself or you just did it because everybody else was doing it? Like you didn't process like you know, like why am I actually doing this? Because even when I was in high school and stuff, man, there were some big time consequences, but I was like, this is going to be a part of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have to roll with the consequences.
Yeah, no,
But, like, I knew, I started like processing like why I was doing it. I was like, okay, I'm using this as a tool to make me feel this way in these certain situations. It helped me, you know what I mean? I was, you know what
okay.
I mean? Like, I was starting to evaluate, I'm using it as a tool. But,
Yeah.
like some people never say it. They never Paul never even brings up ever why he ever took
Yeah.
consumed a drug or something. He's just like, oh man, just getting high, man.
Yeah, mine was, I mean, that's funny. I don't think I've ever been asked that question. Now that I'm like thinking about it,
It's a really good question.
it's a great question. I always felt like weird in my own skin around a lot of people, and I was always just like, I don't feel like I'm good enough. And when I drank, it actually took away that feeling of feeling separate, and I felt like I was a part of. I was doing what everybody else was doing. Like everybody thinks this is cool, so this is what I have to do. And then it just kind of, that anxious, like, social anxiety type of thing, like you have or had or working on, whatever. That type of thing, like that was real. And it was like, okay, I want to hang out with these people and this is what they're doing. So I need to do this to make sure that I feel this way to be a part of their group. So yeah, so it was like that for a long time until it became an answer to everything, right? Like nervous, anxious, upset,
Yeah.
bored. Oh, what are we doing tonight? Well, we're hitting the bar, like it just became secondhand. Like it was the response, my brain's response to anything. And that took over for quite a few years. So I drank alcoholically from
Day one.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, so here's another thing about me. I would go through bouts like during, even because I loved fitness, I loved sports even back then.
Sport.
I was a swimmer in high school, a basketball player, and then I got into powerlifting in 2012. So even during those time and bodybuilding. So even during those periods of time, like the 2012 era, like I would go like a year without drinking and I'd be like, I don't have a problem. And then to prove that I didn't have a problem, there would be multiple times that I would go like a month without drinking just to prove to myself, this is an issue.
But why would it? What triggered you to say, "Let me show you, Nicole, I can go a year"?
Oh,
Because there was this time you
No,
were barefoot in the nightclub or something.
oh,
There was whispering consequences.
there was
Here.
relationship problems. There was blackouts where I didn't remember things.
In that relationship, was it someone saying you have a problem with drinking?
Or it was so much evidence you're
Right.
like, I may have it. Let's
Yeah.
prove it. I don't.
I don't. I can stop.
I think it's a combination, to be honest, because the time when I finally, woke up and, well, my higher power woke me up, I was married and that person never really, said directly to me, but there was situations where, it was felt and I felt it and I couldn't remember and I was apologizing for things that I didn't remember that I did. So it was like that was it. You know what I mean? It was like me like, well, I don't remember and obviously we're fighting, so maybe I need to put this down for a while and see if maybe whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
What was that question, Joel, you were saying a while ago when I was fixing the cameras? You said that Paul never
Why
What
did
is
you
the reason
use
you were
Yeah.
using
Like,
drugs?
Did you know exactly why you're using? Like some people don't like. I process it like from day one. I'm like, all right, so here's alcohol, here's drugs, and I looked at them as tools. Like, how can I
does it
use this?
change? So I think originally at the time it was to fit in,
Mhm.
right? Like the crowd that I was running with. Like when I think about the first time like I used cocaine or I took a Xanax, I had a really good friend of mine, and I'm not yeah, it's his fault, but a really good friend of mine, I remember I got off the school bus one day. This is how young I was, and he was driving, and he was waiting I had this really long driveway, and I got off the bus, and he was there, and he said, "Pick a hand,"
Oh Lord.
and I picked one, and he opened it. It was 2 blue Xanax. And I had no idea what it was. He opened the other hand, and there was another 2 blue Xanax, and he took 2, and he said, "These are for you."
So it
And
didn't matter which hand you chose. You
well, yeah. And then we got in a Dodge pickup truck, and I don't remember anything from that night.
Oh,
The
no.
next morning,
alcohol.
the truck we had hit mailboxes, all kinds of stuff, like, and so it was. I didn't say no to something that seemed so cool and accepted, or if I knew that it was what I wasn't supposed to do, right? Like it wasn't allowed. So it was something I wanted to do. It was almost thrill seeking. Same guy, like first time I ever did cocaine was with this same guy. I was probably like 15, 16 years old. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh, this is going to burn really bad. And then like did it. And I was like, it was just a feeling that I didn't not enjoy. Right. Like, so now it was like all of my motivation, my money, my working was to go feel that way again. And it was like that from my teenage years.
Mm.
Once I got older, I think it wasn't so much to fit in. It was just what I thought was like edgy enough as fun, right? Like most people will go kayaking or something for fun. It was like, I'm going to go to the bar and see if I can't get high.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if most people will. I mean, because
Yeah.
see a lot of
But like from a young age, like that was, I don't know if it was I don't want to, I know there was trauma when I was a kid, like, to a degree, but I don't feel like I was coping with anything consciously. But subconsciously, when I went through the steps and I started reviewing a lot of the things that was happening in my life, I ignored it, right? I didn't address it. I remember when I was 13, my grandfather passed away, and I do consciously remember, and for years, like, this is not real, right? There's no way that this has actually happened. And when I was talking to someone about that feeling, they were like, that's PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're having a hard time accepting the reality. And so in recovery, like doing my 5th step, looking at my character defects, like really trying to take a daily inventory, not doing that in any capacity growing up, it was like I was never accepting that, hey, this is not a good idea. This is a mistake. I wasn't choosing things correctly. I was people pleasing and not, I was making bad decisions because at an early age, I didn't have the guidance to tell me that these things were wrong. If that makes sense.
I was just thinking, when we were talking about that, you said people going kayaking for fun. And I was like, when I was growing up and I was going through, my periods of addiction and active addiction and all that stuff, like, I never imagined that there was another way to live. I never imagined that there were other things that people were doing. I thought that that was literally what everybody was doing. And it wasn't until, my first year of recovery and changing my environments and changing people really, like, I mean, I obviously wasn't hanging out at the bar, that I realized that, like, there's a whole other life out here.
Yeah.
There's a whole other side of life that I had never been exposed to yet, right? And my belief of what everybody was doing was completely wrong. So now I do kayak for fun.
Yeah.
Now I do ride roller coasters for fun and stuff like that. And I get to remember all those things. But I never imagined that there was a life that was different from the one that I was in.
I had a conversation with a guy the other day. He called me, and he I was trying to explain to him survival mentality, which I know I came into recovery in survival mentality. And I kind of illustrate that with like once I got to the house and Joel's like, hey, let's go to Walmart. Like I didn't trust that. Like, okay, is this guy trying to con me? Is he trying to like, I didn't know. But like the truth is it's like when you're in survival when you're in survival mentality for so
Yeah.
long, when someone comes along and just is trying to be good to you,
Yeah.
you don't understand how to
No.
receive that. To this day, when people compliment me, I don't like it because I feel like I don't deserve it. Like there's a catch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking to this guy the other day over the phone, and he just was very straightforward. He's like, does the desire ever go away? And I said, I don't know that I would trust myself if someone poured a mound of cocaine on my table and a bunch of pills, and then I was here left alone for any extended period of time. I don't know that I trust myself that much, but I can tell you what's not going to be on my table and I'm not going to be anywhere near is drugs of that capacity.
Right.
And so my encouragement to him was like, you just got to stay away from that stuff. So I know you're not going to find it at an AA meeting.
No.
You're not going to find that stuff in the halfway house. Like you should be able to get to a point where you can move into your own place and trust yourself to not bring those things into your
Right.
life. Right. Like, and that's a tough thing. Like you see that a lot of people move out of recovery homes real early
Yeah.
and they go right back into the environment that they were in
Yep.
and think that they can trust themselves to say no.
Yep. I really do believe it's, we talk about people, places, and things. Like I do believe that when you're changing your life and you're getting your footing and your foundation and all those things, you have to change people, places, and things. Like there's certain things that you are not going to be able to take with you. Right. And it's the same. There's the saying, like you go to a barber enough times, you're going to get a haircut. Right. Like
Oh, that's a
I've seen so many people that like still continue to work at a bar or do those type of things after like they try to whatever. And it's like, and then there's multiple like relapses and all that stuff. And it's like that environment, like it's not necessarily like it's not the environment's fault, but because you are not safe in that environment, you have to change it.
Yeah,
You have to be the person.
I'll tell you the one that gets me is people that are naturally drug addicts, like that's their drug of choice, that think that they can drink.
Yes.
And what I've seen a lot of times is you'll see that person come back and their experience with their relapse on alcohol was they became an intense alcoholic, like to the point where it was like it was more of a low point than their drug addiction.
Yeah.
And my advice to anyone that has an addictive personality, a problem with drugs or alcohol, it's like it can be anything. It can be food.
Yep.
Yeah,
It can.
alcoholics always do the marijuana thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
they'll be like, "Well, I never really gave marijuana the good." Good. Yeah,
You're still numbing. You're still numbing, and you're still escaping, and you're just changing addictions. And I'll be honest, when I first put down the bottle or whatever, my first thing I went to was shopping. Right? I was like, I feel good now. I have all this money. I'm
Oh,
gonna
I wish I
shop.
could have went.
And then after that, then it was the self-development. Now I'm going to hire coaches, which I am so glad that I hired all the coaches that I hired, right? Because I learned things from them and that was a healthy outlet, but it transferred, right? So now I've broken those things, right? Like to a very big extent, but I'm still, I've got the gym and that's a healthy addiction, but like people, you change to things. You hear people all the time and they go from drinking to marijuana to gambling to sex.
Oh, that's a curse.
Like all kinds of things. Like
Oh.
they just transfer. Like
The sex, I tell you, jeez.
I'm just this is going to bring up the part with the whole like not dating in your first year that you keep hearing about, and it's like there's a reason for that, and I believe that people are going to have their own way of recovery and all the things, but like if you have an addictive personality and you haven't built your own foundation yet, that person is just going to take over that addiction. That is my honest belief.
Yeah.
And that's for me. And like I came in married and I got divorced in my first year. Well, technically I separated my first year and then got divorced, but I didn't date for 2 years after that. And it was out of the fact that I didn't trust myself.
Yeah.
I didn't trust myself.
The one thing that I want to give anybody that hears this some hope is like we talk about like we're still addicts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't put in the work, like doing the step work, that's where you're really diving in to do a lot of self-correction,
Yes.
right? Learning to be okay with yourself. Joel says this to me and it's always resonated with me, like being comfortable sitting in a room with just you and God,
Yep.
right? Like doing the work and getting and finding this inner peace is what solves that compulsion disorder
Yes.
in other areas, like whether that's the gym or cheesecake or snow cones or women or men or shopping. Like a lot of that stuff will take care of itself by doing the
Yes.
work. And
Yes.
and thank God, thank God for AA, the 12-step programs, NA, the rooms. There's a lot of really good safe spaces to go and work on yourself. My sponsor used to tell me to stay away from frou-frou meetings. Did we ever talk to you about this?
Yeah. My sponsor is also like that.
Yeah. What's your sponsor's name?
I'm not.
First name? Or do I know them? Have we met them?
Yes.
This is your how many sponsors do you have?
Just
You have the
7?
same one?
I have the same one. Yep.
I think I've
Yeah.
met because, and the reason I asked that, they're old school AA, right?
Old school. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not trying to call them old, but like
Yeah.
my sponsor's old school AA,
Yeah.
and I remember him sitting me down and was like, the frou-frou meetings are nice, the mixed meetings and this and this. He goes, but you have to have like some serious literature-based meetings where you're going and it's not just for fun and entertainment.
Yes.
It's hard putting in the work on yourself, and I think what we see, because there's so many meetings in this town and there's
Yes.
such a variety, people attract to the ones where they don't have to participate as much.
Yeah.
And that can be, toxic. I imagine there's some like good small towns that have nothing but really good like literature meetings, and
Yeah.
that's, AA.
Yeah, but I think you kind of need the foo-foo ones to like connect with your people.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
think
Like,
you should have a healthy mixture.
Yeah,
one
no,
that
for sure.
challenges you, one that like is your home group or whatever,
Yeah.
and one that you guys just party. You know what I mean? One for fun, like
One for
Yeah,
fun.
Saturday night speaker meetings. We had
I don't know.
stuff like
So I was being careful. I didn't want to call that one a frou-frou meeting, but that would be
A speaker meeting.
a
is
speaker
technically,
meeting where you
yes.
go and you're listening to someone
you're
else, and
not
Yeah.
challenged.
Yeah.
You're not really participating.
where
Yeah.
like a grapevine meeting where you're going and reading out loud popcorn style,
Yep.
or the big book 12 and
Or
12,
12 and 12, yep.
those
First night here, you guys speak.
yep.
Yep.
I think the beginners meeting's a good one
Yeah.
that I think is kind of one of those hybrid
Yeah.
frou-frou, but it forces you to get comfortable in that space talking.
Or the
Yeah.
men's,
And-
all men's meetings or all women's meetings. Usually, that's
Yeah,
more
like
intense.
I harp on like Monday Night Men's a lot, like, and because that was my home group early in recovery. But the thing that I retained more than anything from that meeting was the old guys that they would talk at every meeting and they would say the same exact thing, like keep it simple, stupid, and then sit down.
Yep.
And those guys, I remember just going and it would be like a round table and be 5-6 chairs, and I would have like 6 months of recovery and there was still 100+ years of sobriety sitting at that table.
Yep.
Right. Like, and I encourage all the guys when they come in to make that their home group and go do it, whether they do it or not. It's all totally up to them. But, I think that's kind of the secret sauce. It works if you work it,
Yeah. 100%. And I would say that, there's wisdom in the old school way. You know what I mean? Like the people that came before us that get to show us, why it works and all of that. I'm a firm believer in making sure that you get into the work. And I've seen way too many people come in and just, show up because they have to. And then as soon as they think they got it, they stop going, right? They get comfortable, and then they don't even really get into the work. And the work is where the magic happens. And I remember being told that before I had started my steps. The work is where the magic happens. And I remember feeling so good. I probably had like 5 or 6 months, sober. And I remember just feeling so good. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I feel really good. You're going to tell me that it gets better? I'm like, all right, well, sign me up. How much better could it get? And, of course you're a little scared at first because you're like, I have to, go into some deep, dark stuff and I have to look at my character defects and all of this stuff. And it can be scary. But on the other side of that, if you find the right person, then this is why I say, like, listen to people in meetings before you ask somebody to be your sponsor. If you find the right person that you connect with, you're not going to have a problem opening up to that person, and they're going to share things with you too to make you feel comfortable. And lo and behold, now you have this weight lifted off and you can actually start your journey.
Yeah.
Like, until you clean up that stuff, like, you're still holding on to stuff. You gotta like be willing to like open up and just like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. Let's walk through this and let's move on to the next thing. And it works if you work it.
Yeah. I was just thinking this as you were talking. Like, I experienced like authentic love,
Mm-hmm.
like not like a passion, like just someone carelessly, not careless, selflessly reaching out and coming to you and giving you a hug and like telling you they're proud of you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hearing those words from a stranger or someone you see once a week or something like that, to me was like, oh my goodness, like it was just an experience. So like when I'm a kid taking Xanax and snorting cokes, I'm not coming home to a loving discipline or any of that. Like,
Right.
or like even when I was in my 20s, 30s using, like there was not a moment of just like I would live with the shame and guilt, but I had no one to talk to about that stuff. Well,
Right.
in these rooms, they've all done those same things.
All have the
And
same.
so
Yep.
it just opens this door of vulnerability, and then that person's able to kind of bring you in. And again, like, you have to go to meetings where you're able to share that part about you. And so fruit meetings, for that example, it's very hard to participate in that because usually there's something else going on and you're not capable of sharing.
Yeah. And this is that those meetings, like literature and, in the work meetings, and then, the relationships that you build, like say you go to the men's meetings, like you're building relationships, right? So you're building trust with those people. And then those relationships turn into people that you can trust and that you can share things with as well. And, it might take some time, but then you're sharing your experiences with people, and then you find out that you're not alone.
No.
And that's one of the biggest things. It's like, the shame and the guilt come from feeling like you're the only person in the world that's done anything bad like that, or anything, I'm not going to say bad, anything like against like the person that you want to be, right? Like, you feel like there's no way that anybody else could possibly have behaved this way. And then lo and behold, they have.
Yeah.
Right? So then you find out you're not alone. That's what it's all about.
And I think the important thing about, I said this at the speaker meeting one time, and I can't remember the lady's name, but she's like home group, like been there forever. I was up there and I said, the only thing I don't like about AA is the fact it's anonymous. And she was like, oh. But my point in saying that is like, thank God someone talked to me about it. Like having the issue and knowing I had the issue, because I had no clue that there was this, lifeboat of rich recovery and an option. I say this to people all the time. Like, when I was in jail facing a robbery charge, the only alternative that I knew to that was homelessness and drug addiction. I didn't think that there was ever a comeback. And I can imagine that's a lot of people once they're exposed to this and they understand, oh, there's people that are living successful lives at post, addiction or alcoholism.
Yep.
And so, like, you have to get in those meetings. You have to get in those rooms. If you want to have any type of success that's meaningful long term, like it really starts there.
It really does. And with what you were saying, like, that's why the service aspect of it is so important too. Like, when you get to a certain place and then you can go take meetings into places where people are in jail or in a detox center and they don't know that there's another, that's what that's for. And I think the anonymous part, I am very very open about my recovery and stuff like that. I just don't talk about other people, right? The
Right.
anonymity of it. Like I'm not going to expose somebody else, I think, um but I absolutely live my life. We were talking about full life recovery earlier. I absolutely live my life in the solution as much as possible. And I'm a firm believer in attraction rather than promotion, right? So like if somebody asks me about it and they come up, like I'm gonna be open about it, right? But I'm not gonna walk around and talk about like I go to meetings, all that stuff. But like I walk the walk.
Yeah.
So most people are and it says 5+ years on my Instagram. So if people want to ask me what that's about, I'll tell you.
I use this
You know?
analogy all the time. Like the most interesting thing about me personally is my recovery,
Mm,
right? Like it's not anything about my regular everyday life, but
yeah.
I know that that's because, behind the scenes, I'm able to go and to the service side of things and help people. And without a doubt, like that's your best quality too,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not,
Right.
like what you're able to provide to our community
Yeah.
and the women of this community from a recovery standpoint is an amazing quality to have.
Yeah.
And so,
And I don't take it for granted. And anybody who's listening that's out there that's in the midst of your recovery, just starting out, you're a freaking badass. Like most people don't do that. Most people, to be honest with you, most people take the easy road. Recovery is not the easy road.
no,
So you're a badass. Keep going.
no, recovery is difficult, but it gets easier.
Mhm.
That it's I think the confusion of it all, like there's a saying I read in a grapevine, and I repeat it all the time. It's like, don't get lost in the mirage
Yeah.
of what your future is in early recovery, because a lot of times we try to have a vision for ourselves that God has a completely different
Yeah.
vision for us.
Completely.
And so when things don't start lining up the way we think it should, we quit.
Yep.
Right? Like just like when you were talking about, you would spend a year, Skeeter. You would go a year without drinking, right?
Forces love. Seems to work some recovery, man.
Oh, oh, what time is it?
7:20.
Oh, okay, we're
So
good.
it's 51 minutes.
Paw?
The
Can you give Paw? Oh, you give
Oh,
lip.
we got 10 minutes left. What else do we want to talk about? What's been on your mind lately?
Just the whole like, to be honest, like I was talking about it seems like every literature meeting I've been going to, it's usually like we're on step 11, which always works out like, meditation and prayer.
What does
It's
that
like
look
you were
like for you?
licking my feet. And it's great for me because I know that's the area of my recovery, like that it takes a daily practice. And I have a daily practice. I journal every morning. I meditate probably about 5-ish minutes, but I journal pretty deeply and I talk to God in my journal.
For those that are listening that have no idea what meditation is, like me, I used to think meditation was lighting candles, sitting Indian style on the floor and holding your hands out like this. But like, what explain to a newcomer like what meditation is and what it provides you.
So meditation is just quieting your mind, right? It's just taking deep breaths, quieting your mind, stop worrying about like what do you have to do next, and it's just allowing space for God or your higher power to come in and send you messages, but also just to ask for direction. So I personally I just focus on my breathing to quiet my brain. And I just say, thank you for another sober day. Please direct my thinking today. And I just sit quietly as long as I possibly can. And that's all it is. It's just and I think it's different for everybody. Some people like have something specific they focus on, like, like a goal or whatever, and they just focus on it. But meditation really is just about quieting the noise.
So, and you may not be able to put this in the words, but if you could put it in the words, like what is that manifesting and what is that feeling post meditation? Is it peace? Is it gratitude? Like, what do you feel?
It's a combination because I'm grateful to be where I am today, but it's also or acceptance.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're in the present moment, right? Like and we get told all the time, like we have to focus on the present. We can't focus on, tomorrow or what happened yesterday. Both are not even past is gone, tomorrow's not even here yet. So what you do today is what's important, right?
Yeah.
And today you have to stay sober. Today you have to, be the best version of yourself that you possibly can. So it's about accepting where you're at in the present moment and just being patient with your life, where you're going. And yeah.
Well, good. I think that's a good way to close it out. I mean, we're so thankful. When do we get you back on stage?
I don't
Putting you
know.
on the spot. Like, can you pick a Wednesday already?
Yeah, I can probably do a Wednesday next month, June.
Pencil it. Pencil it.
Hey, Jim.
So we had Sonya last night, and Sonya's always great. Like, she still kind of does it like I call like the panel meetings old school because we rarely
Yeah.
do them. You're doing one next week, right?
Yeah. I got Ted, Lonnie, Brad. I'm struggling to find other ways to get those people involved. Talk
You know, I've
to
come
them and get
Yeah.
to accept that, and I think this is why panel meetings are not a thing of a past, but they're more kind of like little diamonds every now and then, little treats when we have
Yeah.
a big group up there, because like the people in our homes that have been there a long time, like the Teds, need to get up or get on the podcast or go share their story on
Yeah.
stage. And so we have Tommy, who's been over at Prudence for a really long time, coming up. Travis is coming up, who's been at eSmart for a while. And we've done a lot of that in the recent weeks. But Sonya came last night and did a whole panel on sponsorship and crushed it. But she's agreed to pick another Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I've noticed the most is like we don't try to force female speakers. They're just hard to find.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find like a woman that's just like gung ho and wants to get up there and teach us something and tell us something. And you've always been one of those that we could depend on, and you don't miss the mark anytime you get up there. So
Thank you. I'm sweating already thinking about it.
yeah, so but yeah, we're so thankful for you coming on the podcast. We've missed you.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
miss you guys too. It's been a while.
All right. Well, that's episode 56. If you're watching, please go to our website. If you want to buy a shirt or you want to donate to our cause, we raise money for people in early recovery. We also have our shirts on Amazon now. You search Project Exodus t-shirts. You can get there's every color, size, shape, print. We also are working on printing some. We have a couple of really cool new prints. We have a new shirt logo for the front for this next set that's coming across. We're going to be pressing those tomorrow. You can also check out our website, projectexoduscorp.com, if you want to go see what we do. We also have projectexodushomes.com. You can check out the homes if you know anybody, or if you're out there listening and you're needing help and you want to get sober or get off the streets and you're fighting addiction, reach out to us. You don't have to come live in our homes if you don't want to, but we are here to help. So don't be afraid to reach out in that regard. Next Wednesday night, Next Generation Recovery, 7 o'clock, live on Facebook. Also, you can come in person, 1801 North Lockwood Ridge Road. Joel's going to be doing a panel. What's the topic? Do you know? Ego.
Oh, that's a good one.
Don't
So
miss
good.
it. Don't miss it. Ego from Joel. That's going to be hypocritical. No, I'm kidding.
I'm like,
Joel's
fire.
great.
You're like hypocritical.
All right. Well, that's it. My name is Paul. This is
Joel.
Nicole.
and Steph. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.